Rachel booked a peaceful daytime forest tour, but when her guide smiled and said, "I'm not with them anymore," the trail twisted into something far more terrifying than she could imagine. Rachel was the type of traveler who loved nature, sunlight streaming through trees, birdsong, and quiet solitude. On a weekend getaway to a small mountain town in the Pacific Northwest, she found a brochure for a guided daytime forest walk. Beginner-friendly, safe, scenic. It was perfect, or at least it seemed perfect. She booked the noon slot for the next day. Bright sunny weather, clear blue skies. Everything about it felt peaceful. When she arrived at the trailhead, a man was waiting. Tall, mid-40s, friendly smile, khaki vest, name tag that read Dan. He waved casually and introduced himself as her guide. No red flags, not yet. He seemed normal, but looking back, normal was the most dangerous thing about him. They began the walk. Dan was chatty, knowledgeable. He pointed out birds, shared trivia about native plants, and cracked a few decent dad jokes. Rachel found herself relaxing, but then, 10 minutes in, something felt off. The landmarks from the brochure, they were just gone. The iconic rock arch she'd seen on the pamphlet, nowhere. The wildflower field mentioned in every review, nothing but moss and mud. Instead of a gentle trail, the path began to narrow, twisting upward at strange angles. Rachel paused, pretending to retie her boot. "Hey, Dan," she asked casually, "are we on the main route? This doesn't look familiar from the brochure." Dan stopped, turned to her with a strange, lopsided smile and said, "Yeah, that's because I'm not with them anymore." Those 7 words changed everything, because suddenly Rachel realized she was alone in the woods with a man who didn't work for anyone. Her smile faded. "What do you mean?" she asked, trying to sound amused. But he just chuckled and looked up at the trees. That was when she noticed there was no sound, no birds, no wind, just silence so complete it rang in her ears. Rachel's heart pounded. "You know what? I think I'll turn back early," she said, stepping backward. Dan didn't reply. She turned to head back, but when she looked over her shoulder, he was gone. 1 second he was standing there. The next, empty trail. No footsteps, no crunching leaves. Just gone. Rachel broke into a fast walk, then a run, pushing branches out of the way, calling out, "Hello? Yeah." Nothing. She reached what she thought was the way back, but the trail had changed. Trees were twisted in ways she didn't remember. Moss-covered rocks she'd passed earlier were gone. Even the sunlight seemed dimmer, like the forest was closing in. And the air felt heavy, electric, like it was watching. By now, panic was setting in. Rachel checked her phone. No signal. Of course, she climbed a small ridge to get a better view, but all she saw was forest in every direction. Then she saw something move, far off, a figure between the trees. Dan. But he wasn't walking. He was just standing, perfectly still, watching. She waved. He didn't move. She shouted. He didn't blink, and the next time she looked, he was closer. She stumbled backward and ran. This wasn't just being lost. It felt like something was toying with her. After another hour, maybe 2, she found a clearing. In the center stood a single wooden signpost. It looked ancient, weathered, carved with symbols she didn't understand. Suddenly, a voice behind her. "This used to be the original trail, you know." She spun around. Dan. But not quite. His face was pale, eyes too wide. His clothes covered in mud, ripped, moldy, like they'd been underground. He wasn't guiding hikers. He was part of the forest now. Rachel screamed and ran, not looking back this time, Branches whipped her arms and legs. Her lungs burned. She didn't care. She just wanted out. And then she saw a road. She burst through the brush, collapsed onto the gravel, and lay there sobbing. A passing couple pulled over and helped her up. She was safe. For now. Back in town, she went straight to the ranger station and demanded to speak to someone from the tour company. She told them what had happened, described Dan in full. The ranger stared at her. "That's not possible," he said slowly. "You must be confused." "No," Rachel insisted. "His name was Dan. He had a name tag." The ranger looked through an old binder and pulled out a faded staff photo. "That's Dan, but he's not a guide anymore. He went missing 5 years ago." Rachel had followed a dead man into a part of the forest that shouldn't exist. They never found his body, just a shredded name tag, and an old trail map from a route that had been shut down for decades. Rachel left town the next morning, but she never stopped checking her back seat or mirrors, because part of her is still waiting to wake up on that trail. Some say forests are just trees and dirt. Others say they remember. And if something dies out there, it doesn't always stay gone. If this story gave you chills, don't forget to hit the like button. It tells the algorithm that you enjoy creepy tales like this. And if you've ever had a weird experience while hiking or exploring the outdoors, drop it in the comments. I read every one. For more true-feeling horror stories like this, subscribe and turn on notifications, because sometimes the scariest things happen in broad daylight.